Warm welcome to you. We are gathered here to celebrate International Women's Day at UBA. My name is Raquel Ross and I'm the host for the program. First of all, I would like to thank the MDC of UBA Ghana, Mr. Uzo Ichinamuluku, the management team of UBA, You Lionesses, which gives so much of importance to women empowerment at work. International Women's Day is celebrated across the world to honor women for their immense contribution to the society. Being a woman myself, it feels so good to have a special day set aside to honor women and appreciate women. But I feel that women should not be just respected because they are women, but because we have individual identity. You agree to me that we contribute equally to the betterment of the society. If I can be a little biased, I'll say a world without women means there's no existence. Please, bear with me. Every woman is special, wherever they find themselves, at home, at work, or be it both. Well, like I said previously, UBA gives utmost importance to gender equality, and you can see it in the organization. Please, let's give on the gender. Be a wonderful learning experience for all women. The theme for this celebration is her story, positioning herself to be part of the inclusion. Please allow me to repeat the theme. Her story, positioning herself to be part of the inclusion. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of us here, our wonderful executives at UBA. We are privileged to have in our midst the head of human resource, who is in the person of our mother, Madam Evelyn Kwanzaa. You're welcome, ma'am. We also have the head of the U Lionesses, who is in the president, and she's in the person of Mrs. Josephine Amoasai. Please let's give it. We have the head of personal banking with us in the person of Mrs. Essinam. Please let's give it to her, Mrs. Essinam. We also have the branch manager of UBA, Madam Belinda Tinkran. We also have the branch manager for our East Legon business office in the person of Rahimat Wahma Bwachi. We also have a branch manager for Accra Central Business Office in the name of Gifty. We also have our corporate business office branch manager in the person of Madam officers from various departments of the bank. Please give it up to all of us. When we come to our special guest, we also have a guest on our left. She was a surprise for you all. I know you didn't know and you didn't expect. Esnam Addo, CEO of Esidel Events and a trader advisor. Please give it up to us. Distinguished guest online, please, we are live on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Please do well to share, like, and comment. And note, we'll be reading your comments along the line. At this point, I'd love to introduce our very special guest of honor, who is in the person of Mrs. Jima Addo. Please, let's give it up for Mrs. Jima. Gwen Jima Addo, often called Gwen by many, is a wife, a mother, a philanthropist, a business leader, strategist, an author, and the CEO of the well-known brand DS Center. Gwen joined Standard Chartered Bank after her degree in philosophy from the University of Ghana in 2016, but later resigned in 2012 to set up a hair extension business, which had been her lifelong dream. Hair Center Limited, which had very humble beginnings from her car trunk in 2008, has now transformed into one of Ghana's leading hair companies and the #1 consumer choice for human hair extensions in Ghana and beyond. Please give it up for God. In 2016, Gwen graduated with an executive MBA from China Europe International Business School, as well as an executive management program in Harvard Business School. She also added a new line to the business called Hips Africa, which is the Hair Center International Beauty Show that aims to projecting the beauty industry in Ghana and the rest of Africa through beauty shows and marketing events. Gwen.
Thank you so much.
Gwen won the award for Organizational Impact Award in 2016, 40 Under 40 Sales and Marketing Award in 2019, Most Promising Female Entrepreneur CIBS, and the list goes on. Please, let's give it to Gwen. She deserves all the applause. Gwen, you are most welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to you, and of course to be surrounded by big executives. I'm truly humbled, and as I look at you, I'm wondering what exactly am I going to share, because the executives know everything. They've heard it all, but I pray God gives us the grace to be able to share something, both for those that are outside listening online and then for you that are here too. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We are blessed and privileged to have Gwen here. Gwen, before we delve into the main discussion, we are very much interested in your journey to success. Being a banker just like some of us here, virtually most of us. Gwen, selling a car trunk now to a household name worldwide. Gwen, what inspired you to start your entrepreneurial journey? And how did you identify hair as your business opportunity?
Okay, so I'm going to answer the first part of the question first. What inspired my journey was basically, I grew up from a family, I was born into a family where my dad was a businessman. Okay. He had multiple businesses and he was a trailblazer in his time. So I always tell people that I'm very comfortable with the camera because I grew up with a lot of cameras and that kind of thing. His name was Charles Alenjima, Ghana Video City. Maybe some of you will not know, but if you would. And my mom was a trader in Makola. We used to sell materials, which these days I realize everybody says fabrics, but it was materials. So we used to take turns to go to the store when I was in secondary school. And when I was in Legon, would go there and then try to emulate what my mom was doing. So I would say I picked up the basics from there. Now, you asked what was the second question again?
So Gwen, we would like to know, how did you identify hair as your business opportunity?
Great question. You know, I didn't grow up with a lot of hair. You know, growing up, I was bringing. Okay. So anytime I see anyone, the first thing I would look at is your hair. And mine was, and it's the same story. Everybody had more hair than I did. So I loved playing with hair as a child. Eventually, when I thought of a business, I said, you know what, the way I'm passionate about hair and the fact that I'm the only one that's going through this whole issue with hair, it would be wonderful if I start this. And also because people were doing it, but nobody had actually put a face to it. So I saw that opportunity and then I went straight for it.
Wow. She saw the opportunity and she went straight for it. Please, once you see an opportunity, you can do it. She's done it. Gwen, this is just a follow-up question. What makes an idea worth pursuing? And how can someone tell if the ideas have potential?
If your ideas have potential. You know, first of all, I think sometimes we overhype passion and it leads people into a lot of trouble. Because people would say, follow your passion, you know, if you love it, just go for it. But it's not easy. Whenever you're going to start something, you need to ask yourself, in as much as it's your passion, does it align with what the market needs? Yeah. Is there a solution that you're bringing on board? And I always exemplify the entrepreneurial journey to someone that's flying a drone, okay? It's way up there, and then you're going to see potholes. So you come down to the ground and say, oh, why is it that you're not doing this? And this happens to those, most people that come from outside. They come in and they look at so many issues on the ground. But it's always important to do our due diligence. I don't think we do that enough. We look at it, somebody says our passion is good to go, and then we pursue it. And so even though what we're probably doing is great, it's not solving a problem. People gravitate towards things that can help them to survive and to thrive. That's the human mind. So anytime you think of that idea or that, thing that has potential, you need to ask yourself, especially if you're in product or services, is this going to help them to survive? Is it going to help them to thrive? Then you can know you have something worth pushing. But even that, you need to work at it, and you need to have consistency as your friend. It will not work itself out. You need to be consistent at it.
Consistent at it, please. Let's make that. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you. Gwen, would you say your education and your knowledge as an employee helped you to become a better entrepreneur?
Absolutely. I think education is very important. It gives you the platform, it enlightens you, it exposes you. So I cannot underestimate the relevance of it. And I was in school, so I had the opportunity to be exposed to different kinds of people from different backgrounds. I think the boarding house experience was great. Now, my MBA was really the turning point for me, because you see, when I started my business, I made the business about myself, what I wanted, what my passion was. But in hindsight, I realized when I was pursuing my MBA that people, you have your notebooks here, okay? So, or you can mentally do this. You can draw a triangle, okay? Now, within that triangle, at the bottom parts, make that part the largest part. The second largest part should be it should be at the top, and the smallest part at the top. The largest part, the middle class is not as big, and then we have the elite class. Now, because I'm going way, I was in, so going was bougie for me. Going to go there with. I was going to go there with something special, because I felt they had, high disposable income, and they could afford, no disrespect, of course, before they come and bite me on the inside. But I had a mindset, but I was wrong, because you see, people that have the money have options. They can travel. Yeah. They can be served at home. They don't even necessarily have to come to the store. So here I was thinking, just because I was positioned in an area and I had a nice store, people were going to come. It did not work, So it was really at that point during my MBA that I realized that, I am not positioned properly, because if I'm not serving the mass markets, then somebody else is serving them. Somebody else is taking the money that I can potentially be taking. And so what I did was I started listening to the clients, because they would come and ask, do you have this? And when they leave, I say, look at them, always coming to ask about things that we don't have. So eventually, when I started listening to them, and when I applied some of the things from SIEBS, I realized, okay, I have to shift. And then when I shifted, I did see the results. So education, I cannot underestimate its relevance. It's very important.
Let us enlighten ourselves as women. Knowledge is power. And Gwen we has customers and also entrepreneurs who will be listening to our conversation. We would like to know, at the journey of building the hair salon, what were the challenges you faced, and what did you learn from it?
I think one of the major challenges, I already talked about it, I made the business about myself, and I was not listening to what the customers wanted. Another challenge I faced was thinking that stores sell things. Because when we think about an idea, we're looking at, especially on social media, and thinking this person has that, and that's why they're successful. So it was a reality check for me, because I had invested in all those things and it did not work. I also want to add that sometimes we think money is the solution. Money is important, but it will all your entrepreneurial, okay, or your setbacks. Because you can have money, but if you lack good strategy, all the things that you have in your hand, important to really do our due diligence. I think we jump into things way too fast, and our digital age is not helping us. We're exposed to a lot of lies. Because I can't pretend to be somebody I'm not just because of social media. and we're building our business around some of these, and we have to really wrap up, do our due diligence, ask more questions. Not a rush company. No one is handing certificate at the end. Take your time, and it will be worth it.
Thank you, Gwen. Thank you. Gwen, we know women like very much on this, and honestly, sometimes it's good to actually celebrate our wins. We would like to know, what is that achievement that you are so proud of?
The achievement. Okay. One of the things, I mean, this is not related, but I have to let you know, I've never been to a room where I miss talking about my God.
Wow.
You know, I used to think I had all the answers, and once I had the right team, that was it. But it's also more than that. It takes grace.
Yeah.
It takes a higher calling and having that conviction. Because when you have that big idea, you don't prepare for the economic crisis. You don't prepare for you and nobody is coming. And my faith has really kept me strong, I'll have to say. Now, the things that I can talk about are our big December sale. We've done that for a couple of 12 years this year in November. And every single year, we have growing number of people that come from all over, and they come and sleep in Accra, some outside the 12 hours. We open the store for sale. It's not free. They actually come in pairs. And if we've been able to be consistent amidst all this crisis, is by God's grace. And the second milestone, I would say, has been Hips Africa.
Yeah.
The Hair National Beauty Show. I remember when my brother and I started it, people said, how is it that you're going to call your competitors to be a part of a beauty show? And then you're going to expose them to all kinds of people. But God's riches is sufficient for us all.
Certainly.
And thank you so much. And as entrepreneurs, we need to know that we each have a calling. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you've been able to get to a certain level, and you've not arrived, by the way, you always need to make sure that you're holding other people's hand, because you cannot serve everyone. And if you have that mindset, you're going to have the capacity, you're going to have the creativity that only God gives for you to keep. Africa has been a great milestone for me, and there's another one that's going to come up, but I'll talk about it maybe in the future interview, but it's going to be this year.
Great. Wonderful life experience God has given, but Gwen made it aware that everything we need God. Please let us have God in our day-to-day lives, in our workplace, wherever we find ourselves. Most importantly, in our businesses, let us have God. Thank you. At this juncture, we would like a few questions for my executives, for our women here at UB. Anyone has a question for Gwen? Wait for the question. Okay, we have Linda. Linda would like to ask a question.
Okay, so when I was listening to our host Raquel and she reading your profile, she spoke about the various roles that you play, from a mom to a wife to a businesswoman. I'm sure you have a sister. I follow your post, so I know. How are you able to combine all this? When this time we see that you are also doing a lot of speaking engagement, how are you able to combine all this? When I'm sure as women, these are some of the tips that we want to hear.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you so much, Linda. I think it's very important for us to understand something. You cannot balance. Okay, I hear about that all the time. You can't balance it. You're going to win at some, you're going to lose at some, and you also have to have the power to say no. Because you see, sometimes what happens when you're, in this space is that, like she right said, there are a lot of speaking engagements, and if you're not, and I see it all the time, where people get to a certain level, and because of their hype, they get attention and people start calling them, oh, come and speak for me, come and do this. And every day they are busy. And then and you won't see it happening. So gradually, you're going to see your attention shift to other things. Thing that makes you relevant, okay? The effects of it is actually going to break you down. So I would say it's very important to learn how to say. It's also important to know where and the times that you can be great at one thing. You will realize that sometimes my son will not be happy with me because I didn't show up for events when I had to. Sometimes we have to choose. It's difficult. And I won't tell you and say, yes, you have to choose a family by all means, because family is. When you're on the ground and when it's in front of you, you will see how difficult sometimes these decisions can be. But, you know, it takes grace and it takes a lot of wisdom to know where you can serve and where you can't. But somehow it all works out in the end.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Gwen. Please, just to remind us that our webinar is brought to you by UBA Ghana and you roar with pride with our prestige products UBA account. Thank you so much, Gwen Super. We appreciate your wonderful life experience and the impact you do. Please, I would like to know if anyone has any questions. Okay. Before I come, please, Melinda, speak.
Thank you so much, Gwen.
You're most welcome.
Very inspiring.
Thank you.
The story is very, very inspiring.
Thank you.
I would like to know, have you faced any discrimination whilst doing your work as a woman? And how did you overcome that discrimination? Where you find yourself?
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, this takes me back. You know, when you do the MBA with CIBS, you know, you're able to do some of the modules in different universities. Went to business school. One time, this period where a group of us were walking, you know, and there was this lady from another part of the continent. I won't mention because of the nature. And then she was asking everybody, and here my colleagues, I mean, I had people in supply chain, doing oil and gas, you know, different fields. That's where more, if you know what I mean, than here. So she said, how about you, Gwen? What do you do? I said, I have a hair company. We're doing hair extensions and other hair products. And then she said to me, yeah, but what else? What else? And I said, that's it. Said, no, I know you sell hair, but like, what else do you do that brought you here? And I said, so you came here to do your MBA to go and sell hair. Okay. And I felt so small. Oh. And since this is International Women's Day, I want to also say this. You know, sometimes we fight for seats at the table and we want to be included and we want to have a voice and be allowed to enter. We women, okay, sometimes are the gatekeepers. The other day I was with a gentleman and he said to me, we're in the boardroom and we're having a discussion and then we'll suggest a female for a position. And the females in the room are the ones that debunk the suggestion. Okay? So this person who did this to me and said what and made me feel so small in this whole feminist, it would be a man doing that. But it was another woman. So let us allow love to lead the way. You know, otherwise it's going to be year of new themes, new gatherings, and these kinds of meetings that does not go anywhere. We leave the room and then we disengage. And I never used to be a part of these meetings because I didn't believe in it because I was being exposed to so much. People are in the same room talking about unity, they hate themselves and door and then each other. So if that we desire is then we need to lead by example. Yes. It's very
So women, let us love each other. Please, the hate. The love. We need it. Thank you, Gwen, once more.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Gwen. I'd like to remind us all that we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, YouTube, Twitter. Please do well to share, like, and comment as we'll be reading your comments along the line. Okay, Esinam, I know you have a question for Gwen, please.
Hello, Gwen.
Hi.
Good to see you. So,
Yeah.
I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Listening to you, I almost got tears in my eyes. Obviously, you're older, and it just represents that there is hope for some of us to grow in becoming whatever we can in the space that we find ourselves. In the position you find yourself and the many things that you do, there is a point where you want to recalibrate. There is a point where you want to take a pause. At what point do you feel is always right? How do you know that, okay, this is the time for me to take a few steps back and pause or add value or rest? Because, like you said, social media has a lot of go, 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 and there is no pause. So what point for you?
Okay.
And what can you teach me?
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the compliments. I think, first of all, when we start our businesses, we need to set out a vision, set goals, and then make plans. It is when we don't do that, but we start anyway, that we somehow get triggered by everything that happens around us. And so because you have no plan and you're selling hair, somebody comes to whisper, Raquel, do you know another story? Then somebody that you were sleeping, you immediately start posting, doing kinds of things. You feel, you're threatened.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have to have a plan, work towards it, because then when those things happen, because you're working with a plan, okay, well, this need to break and re-strategize. But I'm not just be open and is what becomes my next move. Otherwise, you never rest. Never rest. But if you have a plan and you have goals, see, my plan is to break a little bit and then continue. Unless, because market conditions you cannot predict, unless conditions in a way that you do not expect. What happened with COVID-19? Expected COVID-19. No. That we were some light, and then next thing we did, we lit up the room, logo behind us, and said, "This is the broadcast." People buy people trust. They have authority, and then they have empathy. So once, because we had established that prior to COVID-19, and collect it, and that storm, by God's grace, has passed. Standard by God's grace.
Wherever you find yourself, be it short term or long term. Thank you so much. And please. Okay, there are two more questions.
Thank you very much, Gwen. It's good to hear from you, and I hope you're all learning. You did speak about the need for us to have a plan and the things that we had to go through to be to surmount the problems. I would like to know, COVID was just a one-off. It doesn't happen all the time, but I know as a business person, there are times that you face real hurdles. That's, would make you dwell and want to stop or even give up. How have you been able to keep surging on? Why don't you stop along the way? What has kept you going? We want to know so that when we face such challenges, we would also push ourselves on the trail.
Thank you so much. First of all, what is entrepreneurship?
said, that times will come. And ask yourself, how can I do this? Because business people, nothing is personally we are to virtually we needed it full, and we took it, and I hope this sounds the same.
Okay, you have questions. Before we go online, we have 2 more questions. If you would like to speak, please.
Unfortunately, you took the questions right out of my mouth. I wanted to ask if there was any time in your business where you just said this is the day I quit, or if you got to that breaking point where you said this is it, I don't think I can go on. And then she took the question. I think you partially answered it. But one thing I believe in, and today you have spelled it out, and I believe it's in the Bible, it's there. It says, see, it is I who gives the power to make wealth. And you have understood that. Because God gives the power to make wealth, and the devil also does. And you have understood that. And for me, that is the beauty that is coming out of you. And I'm so blessed by your message.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Gwen.
Hello.
I'm so happy to meet you physically today.
Oh.
I'm so happy. I wish I can get a hug right
Oh,
now.
we will. We'll have plenty after.
I'm so happy. So I want to know, I really admire you. I admire the way you work. I mean, I follow you, Hips Africa, Hair Center, this directions, and your lifestyle. So young women like us, I want to know some tips, or can you share some tips with us so that we can use it to, like, we can learn from them and grow in that sector.
Thank you so much. Words as well. 2 things that I would say. Number 1, you have to remind me, because when I start speaking, I forget. Will be from my direction, and then the first one, guess what? I forgot. Oh, but I remember now. You know, in my time, it was social media, but it was not and as developed as it is now. Okay. We have a club called TLS, the Leading Center, where I engage with a lot of young women. And most of the times, the things that frustrates these young women is not what is in front of them. It is perception that frustrates them. Okay. Something that someone is selling to them, an idea of what is supposed to look like happiness. Okay, and so they are depressed, and it's breeding a lot of ingratitude, and it blinds us to even opportunities around us. So I want you to open up your eyes, and don't, somebody posts something, don't look at it and think this is what life should be. And that's why I want everybody to study scripture to understand it. Okay, because if you do, you have more depth, and so you're not going to or consumed by the things that are given to you at face value, because you have something that is deeper, you have something that is more dependable than what is because these things you're human, okay? These things, you'll be exposed to it, it will hurt you. The second thing also that we should not do, because I was timid. I failed me because, I mean, I said I saw somebody wearing whites. Yeah, I was part of the top five. And you see, and it was, people voted for, they thought I should be able to win. But I didn't believe in my own self. And then I remember when it was time to make this Hugh and Paul speech, somebody was walking. I mean, everybody said they never saw the person, but this person was wearing whites. And then I looked at them, and then I got confused. I just stood there, and I said, I can't believe this is happening, and I walked off the stage. The timid Gwen today is... So this has to be a story of... Do you understand? And so the first chapter of my book, Direction, I speak about sitting in your corner, because I used to sit in my corner. I mean, that has political connotations. I mean, for my book, that was political, you know, sitting in your corner politically, but I think it's also applicable to us. We have to be more courageous. We have to speak up. Will not help us. Okay? We are more exposed than our parents were or our grandparents were, so let's take advantage and be more courageous, be more confident. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes, because even the people that are called to be confident, started thinking, I was buying small. I was like, this, that, you know, because it's best of us, okay? Rise up from it, shake yourself up, and then reach out. So please remember those two things. Don't let social media deceive you, and then do not corner. Go out there, launch out in the confidence that God gives.
Believe in yourself. Wow, I love how the questions are coming when you're impacted. Oh, great. Please, Florence.
Thank you so much. When you started talking, I've been listening keenly, and I can see that you are a very godly woman and a successful businesswoman. We know how religious people in business sometimes behave, leading to different things when it comes to business success and growth. How have you combined your love for God, as in your Christian life, with business? We have seen people who would choose prayer meetings over opening their shops. Some people can even tell customers, wait, I am praying. When I'm done, I will attend to you. How have you combined your love for God and business? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, we need to get understanding. You know, first of all, it is God that gives us and calls us into this position to serve. And we need a lot of wisdom and sensitivity to do that. There has been a case where that has conflicted with my service. In the way that I am actually helped me to pursue a higher service. For example, people always say, oh, there's a new company and hair is so nice, so you have to go and get some. And I said, that's great. We're also going to get some good hair because information is good. But our competitive advantage is I shouldn't tell. Okay. Maybe I would that the has helped us to have high level of integrity. Okay, so it doesn't conflict with my service. If it aids in these times of people want to take advantage, want to, you know, flood a lot of because we think that the rates are flying high. But I always say, if you're going to be relevant, you need to have high level of integrity. That's the only that you're going to stay. And was it not for my background, okay, and of God, I probably would take advantage too, because you're a fool not to. It's very important listening to me to don't let it conflict. Okay, I mean, it's for me, it's not something that you carry on your head and say, hey, I'm Christian, hey, God. No, you live by example. Okay, your character, your attitude, your behavior is what will communicate to us for us to know who you are and what you stand for. I hope this answers it.
Allow how God He will certainly make a way for us. So please, let's keep the God factor. So I think we have a question. Please do well to drop your comments and your questions, and we're going to really read it out. So someone said, okay, so the person is Yvonne Kwashi, the head of customer experience of UBE, said, hi Gwen, have you ever second guessed yourself or felt pretty low at some point? What kept you going during these times? Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I think I pretty much answered that earlier about the lady that spoke to me like that. And then it always happens. You know, you have to, as long as you're on this journey, you're going to have some low moments, but we don't let it overcome us, because like I say, we have death. Okay, so we don't have things at face value break us down. And I have my low moments, but it does not last forever. And you also need a coach, a mentor, a friend, somebody that you can speak to. I have my friend here. I was with her at University of Ghana, and I remember she resigned one day from this company, prestigious company, and said, Gwen, I'm coming to work with you at Hair Center. I looked at her and said, with all this, your MBA, and I can't pay you. And she said, it doesn't matter, I'm coming on board. And she's been a wonderful asset to the business. And that's her, Evelyn Riafe.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome.
And so self-doubts moments and my low moments, she's a friend that I speak to, and she encourages me. And she's actually one person that ensured, you know, I loved God, but I was not studying scripture much. So sometimes I go, what it's out to you, and then I go, so you need that person in your life. Thank you, Evelyn.
Please let's have mentors in our lives, because they bring Thank you once more, God. I'm really enjoying this discussion. We are not does that mean we are not here? Please share, like, and comment. As you said, thank you once more, God. Thank you. So far, at this juncture, we would like to go to our main discussion. We've been talking about Gwen, and she's parted us so much that Gwen, we still have to go to the main discussion. Wow. For this week, position women where we at home, in our social, how can we position? So we'll take the first question to all of us, Gwen inclusive, everyone here. Does anyone have an experience of being included, excluded, in aspect of your personal, professional? And how did you at that point in time? Does anyone have an experience of being included or excluded in your various aspects of your personal or professional life, and how it impacted you at that point in time? Okay.
Okay, I think. Okay, I'll try with the personal life, being included. For you to be included in anything that you do, I think you have to stay relevant. If you are not relevant, nobody will include you in anything. So make yourself relevant wherever you find yourself. For me, I'm my family photographer. So anywhere I'm going, anywhere there's a gathering, they will have to include me, because who will take the photos?
I love that inclusion.
Yes. Who will take the photos? Who will take the memories? So I've made myself so relevant in that aspect that any gathering I find myself, I am the photographer. And anytime there's a gathering, I'm invited because they know I can keep the memories for them. So for me, my personal life, being included, that is the way I stay relevant.
Wow.
Yes, I've made myself relevant.
Wow. Let's appreciate Belinda for sharing her experience. So it means each and every one of us can have something that makes us unique, which helps us to stand out wherever we find ourselves at every point in time. Thank you for such experience, Belinda. Please, we'd like to go to our second question. As women, what can we do to ensure our voices are heard and our contributions are recognized? Okay, please, Esinam would like to take this question.
Thank you. Any opportunity I get, I like to add value. You can't give what you don't have. And so, whether in the corporate space or the personal space, I'm a pastor as well, so in the religious space, you want to be able to come over somebody who is not just holding that mic at that moment because they want you to look like the person who is adding on. I don't know if it makes sense. Many times, women stand at the risk of being used as tokens. So at a table of maybe 12 men, they're like, oh, how about we bring Akosia to sit with us so that it looks like there was a lady representing their views as well. Even if that's the case, when you come sit with the 12 men, what are you saying that turns the conversation around for them to know that you are impacting in the real sense of the word? So my little sixpence will be that add value, read, take a course, and that's why I really admire the fact that Gwen said she did the MBA, you know, whatever opportunity, even if it's an online free certified course, it is giving the opportunity to know or have knowledge in a certain topic area. And when I compare ladies to men in general, I realize that men are more forthcoming in studying into ventures that are out of their comfort zone. We like to have the, okay, I'm an HR, like mommy, and mommy will say, oh, well, I don't want to do anything in the analytics, so I don't want to do anything in IT. But imagine an opportunity comes for you to also double in another way, and then you have the knowledge already. It's value that you're adding. You know, so that would be my encouragement for us to add value as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Esinam. So I'd like to reiterate what Esinam said. We should add value to ourselves. We should see our life as how we climb the stairs. You cannot always be down there. You should keep moving, and that is when you get knowledge and you empower yourself. Thank you, Esinam. Thank you all once more. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Please do well to share, like, and comment as we'll be reading them along the line. Okay, so we'll go to our next question, which says, what steps can individuals take to cultivate a culture of inclusivity? I think Esinam has really spoken about that within our spheres of influence, whether at work, in social circles, or within community organization. Okay, I think Esinam's answer has actually answered all. Thank you, Esinam. But maybe some. Okay, please. We have. Okay. So we have Rahi.
Yes. I would want to base it on actually my upbringing. I always say my mentor is my father. I'm a daddy's girl. I come from a family of 6 girls and 2 boys. And the socialization that he gave us was that there wasn't much difference in terms of opportunity or chances that is being given to us in the spheres of education or whatever between us, the women, or the girls, and the boys. Everybody was given more like an equal opportunity in the house. So in growing up, in my mind, you can say probably was more like an entitlement for me. I feel that I don't see myself as a woman, I see myself as a human being. And whatever is being shared on the table, I have to be part of it. I must be part of it simply because I breathe and I'm a human being. Okay, so when I'm asked, how do you break the glass ceiling? I always say, I didn't actually see that was even one because of the socialization. So it goes back to how we are also bringing up our children
in as much as we are adding value, we should also have that imprint in them that it is something that you have to do. You have to always add the value to yourself. So thank you
Wow.
for the opportunity.
Thank you, Rahimat. So we have Madam Evelyn who would like to also add to. Okay, Madam Evelyn.
So for organizations, when we talk about inclusivity, it's an intentional thing. Companies should be intentional about having equal opportunities for everybody, and it starts with a vision, and it goes through the policies and procedures in an organization. As leaders, we should also be intentional about living by example or leading by example. So everybody is somebody. That's how I should put it. We don't have the right to discriminate, whether the gender. So even in HR, if I say, we cannot say that when you are advertising men only, women only, we don't. It's not right. So you just open up the applications there, and then people come in, and then you decide what you want. So in a nutshell, I'll say that we should also listen, because everybody has strength. Each person comes to an organization with our strength. And for us to be able to thrive, we have to harness the strength, and that means getting everybody on board with their strength, and we move forward. And then another thing is a culture, because for us, we have a mix, and we have beautiful things we learn from each other. The Ghanaians and Nigerians, we're learning beautiful things based on where we come from. And together, we form that strong force of being UBA International, or UBA in total. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Evelyn, for that. Thank you. Okay, before we continue, there's a question, but I think the person has deleted it, so we'd like to go to our next question. It says, have you ever encountered any specific challenges or setback in your journey towards positioning yourself as part of the inclusion movement, and how did you overcome them? I'll take my question again. This one is more like a question and answer too. Okay, so have you encountered any specific challenge, be it at the office, at home, work, or setbacks in your journey towards positioning yourself as part of the inclusion movement, and how did you overcome them? Wow. Okay. So we have our mother.
I have a story. I have a beautiful story to share. I once worked in a place where I was the only woman. 20 men at the top. And one beautiful thing is that I made myself relevant. I jump into meetings when I'm not even asked to. It was a kind of a field work.
Okay.
So you go to a meeting, it's a technical meeting.
Okay.
So technically you don't understand what we are doing. But I said, I want to learn.
Okay.
I want to learn. So I kept being in their midst all the time. It got to a point that when I make an input, they're like, how did you get this? But I learned from them and I made myself very relevant that they couldn't do without me. So include like I was able to bring myself to them, and we roll together beautifully. So sometimes the relevant that we are talking about is very necessary. And I will not wait for you to call me. I didn't wait because the meetings and the learning, everything would have gone on without me. But I told them, can I sit in? I just want to learn. And I was there throughout. And I think one of the best things that ever happened to me. It made me stronger. It made me able to handle situations when it comes to my role.
Wow. Thank you. Ahead of HR, Madam Evelyn Kwanzaa, thank you all. Thank you. All those online, thank you too once more. Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you.
We are just about rounding up. Gwen, your brand visibility is very impressive. I remember one time I drove past East Lake when I saw this big sign. It was like hair center. I'm like, wow. It just struck me, and I was like, I loved it. And I actually got a wet curls.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Gwen, I truly admire the effort you've dedicated to your branding. Gwen, would you say that there's a direct connection between brand positioning and achieving business success?
Absolutely. I think I touched on that also earlier. It's important to start out and have in mind that you want to build a brand. Don't just be a seller. You need to be intentional. I remember when we first started, we had paper bags with a hair center logo on them. And people would say, oh, it's not necessary, because when they go to the salon, they just take it from the bag and then they'll throw it somewhere. And I said, but it's going to market on the floor. Somebody's going to pick up that bag and then say it's in good condition and take it to Kaneshi Market. And you are going to see hair center being freely advertised without me paying Kaneshi, where I don't have presence. You look at our billboards, for example, you realize that our billboards just have hair center, no picture of anyone, because what we want you to remember is the hair center. So everything is intentional, and we did that for 12 years straight. Wow. So right from day one, we didn't set out to be sellers, we set out to build a brand. And a brand is what? It has to be trusted, but the trust does not just happen. We have to be able to know that you're consistent, you're dependable, you understand us, and you're solving problems. And so that positioning has really helped us, I have to be honest. And so for those of you that are listening to me and are pursuing brand building, please take your time and go through the ropes. It's worth it in the end. And it will save you when the crisis hits. They will choose you over the others.
Wow. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you, Gwen. One thing she said I picked is that having a brand, you should be known for something. And to her, uniqueness and quality, I think, really sells for her center. Well done, Gwen. Okay, we have some questions online. Please let me take them. So we have a question. Okay, there's no name. It just came through. Gwen, what has been your biggest learning since becoming a CEO?
Wow, so many learnings. Which will be the biggest one? There's a number of them, so it may not be my biggest learning, but the biggest learning is that things do not work themselves out. I'll talk about social media because we built our brand purely out of social media. And sometimes when I have strategy sessions with people and I say, build your social media, they quickly go invest in a photo shoot and then post the pictures and then they go to sleep. You need to work it. Sometimes a particular photo, you need to post it again and again. And it took me a while for me to understand this, especially because I came from a background where I started a business thinking that just because I have a beautiful store, people are going to come inside. Until I realized that no one was coming and it was zero sales week after week. Then I said, oh wait, so beautiful stores sell things out. So it's been a series of learnings, and you will never stop learning. When you stop, you die. You stop being relevant. So I think one thing that I also want to add is that we have to keep on learning. We should learn always, and you have to learn from everyone. Your cleaner, and this book, who has read this book? The Leader Without a Title.
Ooh.
No one?
I have to keep it. Leader.
It's by the monk. But yes, it's a fantastic book because it touches on people in different fields. Some who are trainers, some who was a housekeeper in a hotel, and the impact that they're having in their own space. So CEOs don't just carry the title. It's more than a title. It's a responsibility. And we need to understand that, especially those of us in leadership positions, and continue to work at it and learn, and don't let the hype get into your head, else it will kill you.
Thank you, Gwen. Thank you. When you go to class, they give you homework. My homework from Gwen is to get the book, The Leader Without a Title. So please do get it and learn and impact your life. Thank you, Gwen. Okay, we have more questions from you online. Okay, so there's this question from Vakil. It says, What societal changes needs to be made for women to be empowered? What societal changes need to be made for women to be empowered?
Is it for me or for everyone? Because
I think it's for you, Gwen.
Oh, it's for me. Oh. What
Now is the time
societal
for
changes.
Yes.
Okay.
Need to be made.
Well, I'll just talk about my experience. See, when people are in leadership positions, what I realize is that they don't want to hold people's hand. And even when they hold your hand, they hold it a little bit, and then they think that, yes, especially when you need to cross the road to the other side where there's a big opportunity, they just leave you right there. And why do we do this? Out of fear. We think, what if she becomes bigger than me? What if, I lose my relevance because I'm helping her out? So we need to make these changes, and this is a call on all leaders. We need to change the way we do some of these things. We sit in meetings and gatherings like this, and we say we're going to help people, but then when people ask us for our help, we don't give it, or we do it halfway. We need to go through it to the end, not just start and then don't finish. Because if we would hold people's hand, really, it's not just them we're helping, we're building our own legacy. The other day, we're doing a send-off for, by the way, she left us, Evelyn. So we're doing a send-off, and then, we're speaking, yes. We were just speaking, and then I said to everybody, give a message for Evelyn. And everybody was talking about how they had learned something from her and how their life had been impacted. And I remember we had a similar send-off, and the message was not the same. Okay, people were just saying, "Oh, we're going to miss you." Oh, but they did not talk about the impact that these people had had in their lives. And so, leaders, we need to have impact. We can't just carry the title. We need to impact lives. That is our legacy. Okay, and we need to think beyond ourselves. We need to think about the future. We need to think about the country. And so you're not just helping an individual, you're helping this economy. So impact, impact, impact.
Wow. Thank you. We need to really make an impact wherever we find ourselves. And it starts from the little ones going up. You just have to make an impact. Thank you, Gwen. Okay, there's another question, Gwen. These questions are coming in. Does personality play a role in business? Someone asked.
If she was in my class, I probably would have just said, "Can you ask your question?" We have a way of asking. I don't know if you know what I mean. Just ask. Oh, Gwen, do you think your personal brand has helped your business? Which I'm sure she's asking. Yeah. I think I spoke about trust as well. Integrity is important. Yeah. And people like to do business with people that they can trust. Yeah. They don't want to make that exchange with you if they know you cannot honor your part of the bargain. And so it's important to build that brand, but you have to be very, very careful, because if you build it too much around yourself, when you're not a part of it, it will break down. So in as much as it's important, it's very important in the beginning, and sometimes you can be behind the scenes and let the business run and just work it. So even though it's helped, I think what has helped more is the impartation, okay, from me to my employees, my staff that is working.
Wow. Thank you. So impacting knowledge to our people, to our friends, to wherever we find ourselves. Please, let's impact. But most importantly, it falls on us to have knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, it will be difficult to impact. Thank you, Gwen. Gwen, there's another question. It says, okay, so this one is a comment. It says, it's important to have mentors. Who are some people that you have, forgive me. It's important to have mentors. Who are some people that you have looked up to? And are there any specific reason why they were your mentors?
Okay, so...
Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Becky. Father, I said before, is my coach. His name is Joe. He's also my friend. And he's the one that has always kept me grounded. He'll say, Gwen, you haven't reached anywhere yet. And the way he says it, he makes you feel small like this. And he's always been a guiding force in my life, because there were things that I wanted to say yes to, and he'll say no. And sometimes we would fight back in the day when I didn't understand, because I said, I want to go to that event. And he would say no. So it's very, very important. George has been one. I'm a member of ICGC, Christ Temple, and I'm mentored by Pastor Tabel. So that also has been very impactful in my life. Is concerned. And so many people, as I listen to you, I listen to what about relevance, okay, and I what you said about socializing, the way we're raised, and all of that I'm learning. So for me, it's not just that mentor, it's that interaction that you have. And ahead of HR, what you said about making yourself relevant, including yourself, okay, even when you're not called. And AC, my dear pastor, and you know what you said also. So that you spoke about relevance as well. All of that I'm learning. So let's not just look at one person and say, oh, this is the person I'm learning from. Each day, if you will just open your eyes and be humble enough, you realize that there's a lot that you can learn from many people. Many people. So let's just let humility be teachable.
Let humility lead us. Thank you so much, Gwen. Thank you. We were just about to wrap up, but before that, Gwen, we would like to know what advice, you've even given it all. I wonder, maybe you want to add an icing on the cake. Would you want to give an extra advice, let me say so, to entrepreneurs who are listening?
So I think the executives put on that side to, who is an arrow?
I'm sure they
are. Oh, okay. It's relationship officer, relationship manager. You know, we ought to be humble and to also try to our clients, because they really have the answers and simplify our lives for us. We don't listen to them. We're stuck in our way, the way in which we think things have to be. It's a human thing that we're doing in institution. We're dealing with human. So let's not be too stiff about things. Try to have a lot of okay. And then I also want to say, my dad used to say to me, youth is a blessed time. But the blessedness of youth is only and fully realized when it has passed. Whatever it is that we want to do today, let's not do it tomorrow, or that we have time and listen to a lot of rhetoric that go around. People are like, oh, we get at a certain age, so take a chill. Doesn't matter. Visual one, and you know, everything is enyeshi, and so things just go past us. Let's try to be more intentional and take advantage of this time that we have, because it's not forever. You know, the other day I was telling my friend that I could say that a couple of years back I had more energy than I do now. Yeah. You know, I had this, I don't know if you also recall, you know, it was a campaign. Things are changing. Even though I have that desire, I realize that things are changing. So if you have the energy, please go for it, because it's a time. And I don't want you to realize it when it has, okay, and you are there and you're always, hey, the good old days. So there are no such things as good old days. A time now.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful time here. I have personally learned a lot. I hope you have too. Thank you. We appreciate you. We'd love to take our vote of thanks. Vote of thanks from our president, Lioness, and is in the person, Mrs. Josephine Side. Please let's give it up to her. Okay.
Thank you very much, Rita. It's been thanks. Let's say thank you to God Most High, first and foremost, for giving us the opportunity to an insightful one. And it brings out when it's getting more interesting or when the event is getting more exciting. A lot at with the times we used to, I mean, so thanks for the busy schedule that you still make time to be part of this program. Thanks so much, and we pray that the days ahead will be brighter for you. It'll be bigger and
all right. So thank you once again for honoring our invitation. Thank you so very much. And as I rightly said, we believe that the days ahead are going to be better, bigger, and of course, greater in our own parlance. And to our team here, our seniors amongst us, the head HR, we are grateful for making time to be part of this program. Thanks to our head personal banking, the branch managers here, everybody inclusive, our technical team, we are so grateful to you. And to our guests again, Essie, Pastor AC, my pardon, thanks for making time to be part of our program, making it so beautiful. To everybody who tuned in online, we are very grateful. Thank you for making time and being part of this program. If the cockroach tomorrow morning, early morning, and you hear it, it's just from the UBA and of course the Women's Wing saying thank you once again for being part of the program and God bless you. So let's go out there as women, let's be present, let's be proactive, let's be persistent and passionate about what we have to do. I believe that there's no curtain point for anybody as women. So far as you are present, you are available, so far as you are persistent and you are passionate, I believe the doors are open to whosoever will. No blockade before us. So let's go out there and shine. Ladies, let's go and shine to God's glory. Thank you. Okay. So
we have a small...
On behalf of the team and UBA, I would like to say thank you once again for making time to be part of our program and impacting our lives positively.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very grateful. UBA.
Yes. Thank you all. Thank you all. So we've come. Please, chat giving you. Leo has a number 577 822. Take it again 077 822. Enjoy the. We're grateful to have you. Thank you.
Very grateful.
UBA.
Yes, but it's not so hard. So today we have to be